Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, all. My name is Ridho Mulyo Sandiro Atmojo, and today I'm going to present my pre-intermediate grammar project 1, part 1, and part 2. And the part 1, there's two topic. The topic 1 is causative gate. In this in this presentation, I will cover its definition, grammatical patterns, original examples, and the real world media analysis. Let's see the share screen of the PowerPoint. Okay, wait a minute. Yet, wait. Okay. In English grammar, a causative structure is is used when a person perform as doesn't perform an action doesn't perform an action directly, but instead causes another person or thing to do it. The causative verb get basically has two main functions. First, indexing voice. We use it when we want to show that we persuade, confide, trick, or encourage someone to do something. And second, in the passive voice, it is used to arrange for a service to be completed by someone else, usually a professional. And in this case, we focus more on the final result rather than who did the job. This is a grammatical pattern. The active causative pattern structure is subject plus get plus person and plus two infinitive of one. And the crucial rule, unlike make, have, or relate, which is bare infinitive, get requires to before the verb. And second is passive causative pattern. Structure is subject plus get plus object and plus the participle of verb three. Next, moving on to my original sentence for the active structure. My 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 first sentence is active present. It is the lecturer gets the student to submit their thesis early. Structurally, we can see the subject, the lecture, and the present verb it gets, the person is students, and the required to infinitive to submit. In terms of meaning, it shows that the lecturer is successfully convinces the students to take action. And my second sentence is in the past tense. Yesterday, I got my brother to fix my laptop. Here, God is followed by the person, but my brother, and to fix. And this means I managed to persuade my brother to do a favor for me yesterday. Next, let's look at the passive causative examples. Sentence number 3. Use of future context. Next week, she will get her hair cut at the salon. The structure follows. Future verb will get the object her hair and cut with the verb to, and the meaning is that she will arrange for a hair professional to cut it for her. And this is my fourth sentence in the present perfect. The management has got the office cleared before the audit. It is has got the object, the office, and property cleared. This emphasizes that the management hired someone to clean the office, and the focus is strictly on the clean state of the room. And yeah, and to support my research, I found a real example from reliable digital mass media. The first one is from the New York Times, published on March 14 and 2025. The headline reads, How to Get Your Kids to Eat Vegetables According to Pediatric Guides. For the linguistic explanation, this headline clearly applies, applies the active causative pattern. Get plus the agent, your kids plus the person your kids plus the to infinities to eat, and the journalist intentionally choose the word get because eating vegetables requires a process of persuasion and encouragement for children, which perfectly matches the psychological function of the causative get. The second the second example is taken from Reuters Technology News, published on January 22, 2026. The headline says, "T- Tech tech companies has to get their system upgraded amid global cyber threats." This text uses the passive causative structure. Upgrade plus object their system and past participle upgraded. In professional corporate news like this, the passive form is highly preferred because the absolute focus is on the final outcome, meaning the system are secure, rather than explicitly naming the individual IT workers for who perform the software updates. And let's look at the database reference from linguistic corpus research. According to data from the corpus of comp- com- contemporary American English of or COCA, the causative verb get is actually 70% more frequent in spoken English and informal digital news compared to the highly formal causative verb have. To include this presentation, mastering the causative get requires us to be precise with the active to infinitive rule and the passive verb tree rule. It helps us speak English more naturally in daily communication. The and next is a topic two, conditional sentence. Before looking the formulas, let's understand the core concept. What exactly is a conditional sentence? Simply put, it's a structured verb we use to talk about hypothetical conditions and their results. And every conditional statement contains two parts. The if clause, which say which is represent to the conditional or hypothetical situation, and second is main clause, represent to outcome or or consequence. As we move from type zero and type three, the grammar change because we are shifting from a solid track to imaginary situation. Next, let's start with type 0 and type 1. We use the zero conditional to talk about things that are waste time too. such as scientific laws. Zero conditional, general truth and facts. Pattern is if plus simple present and plus simple present, and the function used for scientific facts, universal law, and predictable habits. And the next is first conditional, real future and possibilities. The pattern is if plus simple present and plus simple future will plus verb 1. The function is for realistic situations that have a high probability of happening in the future. Wait a second. And the second conditional, unreal, is for unreal and hypothetical present. The second condition is for daydreaming or imagining things that are not true right now. Notice the structural change. We use the simple past tense after if and what in the main clause. Lastly, the third condition change the past. It talks about an event that already happened, meaning the condition is now completely impossible to alter structurally. Reflecting on the past event that cannot be changed, usually basing a hypothetical past alternative. And next, to demonstrate these patterns, I have cut original samples. Sentence 1, type of 0. Sentence is, if you freeze water, it becomes ice. The analysis structure is present simple is freeze and present and becomes it present simple too. The meaning is an absolute scientific fact. There's no alternative outcome. And the second sentence is first type. If I finish my project tonight, I will watch a movie. The analysis structure is finish is a present simple and will watch is the future. The meaning is a relative future intention, the outcome is highly likely if the condition is fulfilled. And this is a third sentence. The third sentence is second type. If I won a multi-million dollar lottery, I would buy an entire island. The analysis structure is one is a simple past and work by is conditional. The meaning is hypothesizing an extremely unlikely event. The current reality is that the speaker doesn't have that money. And the last sentence, I use the third type. If I had known the deadline was yesterday, I would have submitted the paper earlier. Analysis structure is had known is past perfect and would have is past conditional. The meaning is expresses by surrogate in reality. The speaker didn't know the deadline and the paper was late. And this is mass media finish and the analysis. For the type 1, fin- financial report. Quote is, if inflation remains stable, the Federal Reserve will raise it from the Wall Street Journal digital edition uh, and for on April 12 and 2026. The analysis is remains present plus will rise is future. Journalists use type 1 for logical, expert economist prediction. And second is historical review is type 3. Third type is from BBC Sport on an essay to May 2026. The quote is, if the team had sailed this title last summer, they would have won the championship. Had Sagnet past participle and would have won it evolved It evaluates the past failure and analyzes alternative outcome. And this is a database reference and conclusion. Linguistic data from the corpus of contemporary American English or COCA shows that type 1 real future account for approximately 50, 50 to 60% of conditional sentences found in newspaper. And the third type is highly restricted to analytical essays, editorials, and opinions. And the conclusion is conditional structure are vital for logical argumentation, scientific accuracy and reflective writing. Present precision intent selection ensures flawless academic and professional English communication. Okay, let's see the part two. The part two is analysis for paragraph. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, this is a part two. The paragraph from passive voice. Last year, a new policy is introduced by the company to improve productivity. Several employees was given additional training and some departments are reorganized to be more efficient. The new system has implemented by the IT team last month. Some tasks must finish before the deadline, and reports are submitted every Friday. And the training session will conducted by external consultants and our staff are required to attend them. By the end of the program, many improvements have been achieved by the organization. The analysis 10 of 10 years. First, in the last year, a new policy, a new policy is introduced by the company to improve productivity. Yeah, it's passive because of last year. So it should be was introduced. Last year, a new policy was introduced by the company to improve productivity. The second is several employees was given additional training. Employee is plural, so it requires will. Im- so it should be employees will. And the third, and some departments are reorganized to be more efficient. Maintain past tense consistency for the whole story. And number four is the new system has implemented by the IT team last month. Last month, request passive past passive was perspective, so it should be was implemented. Next, for number five, some tasks must finish before the deadline. Model passive Modal passive pattern is modal plus B plus T. So it should be must be finished. Next is number six, and report should submitted every day. Every modal passive requires B before T, right? So it should be submitted. The seven, the training session will conduct by external consultant. Passive voice always requires past participle verb T, so it should be will conducted. Will conducted. Number 8. And all staff are required to attend them. Narration is set in the past tense. R must be back saved to were, so it should be were required. And number 9. And all staff are required to attend them. The adjective pairs be required must followed by a full to infinitive required to attend. So it should be and all staff were required to attend. And the last for passive voice is error in passive voice. Many improvements have been achieved by the organizations. Past perfect passive had been plus 50 for complete past action had so it should be had been achieved. Next is from some subjunctive wish. Many students fail tests during exams and often say they wish they have more time to study. Some of them wish they understand the material better before the test. One student said he wished he studied harder last semester, while another mentioned she wishes she can finish all assignments earlier. They also wish their lecturers will give less homework in group discussions. Several students expressed that they wish they don't feel anxious during presentation. Overall, they wish everything is easier in their academic life. And this is analysis of 10 errors from subjective wish. The first, many students feel stressed during exam and often say they wish they have more time study. Patient uses past simple, so it should be wish they had. Wish they had. So many students feel stressed during exams and often say they wish they had more time to study. And second, some of them wish they are understand the material better before the test. Don't use be before main verb in the subjunctive. So it should be wish they understood. Some of them wish they understood the material better before the test. The third is one student said he studied harder last semester. Reporting for should be in past tense, so it should be he wished. One student said he wished he studied harder last semester. And four, one student said he wished he studied harder last semester. Past regret requires past perfect had plus 40, which he had studied. So it should be one student said he had studied harder last semester. The next is number five. While another mentions she wished she can finish all assignment earlier. Ken must beg shift to code after this, so it should be wishes she could. While another mentioned she wishes she could finish all the assignment earlier. And the next, they also wish their lecture will give less homework. Future wish or complaints uses would, not will. So it should be wish their lectures would. They also wish their lecturers would give less homework. Number seven, several students expressed that they wish they don't feel anxious during presentation. Maintain tense consistency. Express is past, so expresses that they wish. Number eight, several students expressed that they wish they don't feel anxious during presentation. Use verb to didn't for present imaginary situation. So it should be wish they didn't feel. Several students expressed that they wish they didn't feel anxious during presentation. And number nine, overall, they wish everything is easier in their academic life. Subjunctive B always use will for all subject wishes, so it should be wished everything were. Overall, they wish everything is easier in their academic life. And the last subjective is overall they wish everything is easy in their academic life. calculating the past native with past tense of all they wish everything is easier in their academic life. The next, the third paragraph is of conditional sentence. If if students study hard, they will pass the exam easily. If you heat water, it will boil at 100 degrees Celsius. Many people believe that if they have more money, they will be happier in life. Last semester, if the lecturer explained the topic clearly, students understood it better. If I know about the assessment earlier, I will submit it on time. If she studied harder, she will pass the final test. In general, if people will work hard, they achieve their goals faster. And the analysis of tenure. First, if students study hard, they will pass the exam easily. Model will must be followed by verb one, so it should be will pass. Didn't use ed. Will pass. And second, if you heat water, it will boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Zero conditional fake uses simple present only. Number three, many people believe that if they have more money, they will be happier in life. Second type, the second type for hypothetical beliefs, if so, is should be it should be if they had more money, they would be. Okay, many people believe that if they had more money, they would be happier in life. Number four, last semester, if the lecturer explains the topic clearly, students understood it better. Last semester requires the third type past unreal. So it should be if the lecturer had explained it. It is ED. The next slide, number five. Last semester, if the lecturer explained the topic clearly, students understood it better. Main clause of the type would have plus verb T. So it should be students will have understood. Number six, if I know about the assessment earlier, I will submit it on time. Regarding about past assessment, the type, it should be if I had known. Number seven, if I know about the assessment earlier, I will submit it on time. Result calls for past regard to type. It should be I would have submitted. So it should be if I known about the assessment earlier, I will submit it on time. Number eight, if she studies harder, she will pass the final test. Pass unreal the type uses past perfect. It should be if she has studied harder, she will pass the final test if she had. And number nine, if she studied harder, she will pass the final test. Correcting pattern for the type, and it should be she would be passed. She would have passed. Sorry. And lastly, for the conditional sentence, in general, if people will work hard, they achieve their goal faster. Never use will inside the if clause. It should be if people work hard, they achieve their goals faster. And the last paragraph is from dialogue versus reported speech. The lecturer said that that students must submit the assessment tomorrow. He also said that they they are working on a new project last week. One student said, "I'm finished my homework," and the lecturer report that the student is finished his homework. And another student said that I will come late yesterday, which confused everyone. The lecturer thought that he will explain the material the next day, but later he said, I explained it yesterday. At the end of the class, he said that you can ask me question now, and students report that they can ask him a question then. And here's a list of 10 errors. First, the lecturer said that students must submit their assessment tomorrow. Remove quote must be shift to had to. So it should be the lecturer said that students had to submit the assessment tomorrow. And number two, students must submit the assessment tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes the next day in report speed. So it should be students had to submit the assessment the next day. The third, he also said that they are working on a new project last week. Last week in reporting requires past perfect continuous, so it should be they had been working on a new project last week. Number four, I am finished my homework. Correcting the original speech grammar, it should be I have finished it. I have finished my homework. Next, number five, I'd like to report the student is finished his homework. Backshift present perfect to past perfect, so it should be had finished. Number six, another student said that I will come late yesterday. Pronoun I changed to he and will to would to would, and so it should be said that I will said that he would come late yesterday. Said that he would come late yesterday. Number seven, the lecturer thought that he will explain the material the next day. Thought requires an object, them or us, so it should be told them that. Number eight, the lecturer thought that he will explain the material the next day. Would must be followed by verb 1, so it should be the lecturer thought that he would explain the material the next day. Number 9, but later he said, I explained it yesterday. The speech for past must use verb 2, so it should be I explained it yesterday. Lastly, and students report that they can ask him question that can backshift to code for plus for one. So it should be they could ask. And that's all. Thank you for today. Thank you all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.